imagined a Baleno with Toyota's badging or a Corolla with Maruti Suzuki's badging? Well, if you have, your wildest imaginations might just come true. Suzuki Motor Corp and Toyota Motor Corp are going to sell each other's cars with cross badging. So let's ask our auto expert Sumant Banerji, what's all of this about and how is it helping Maruti, Suzuki or Toyota? So Sumant.
See, that is true. Both the companies have come together to not only sell each other's cars through cross badging, but also work on a whole lot of technologies behind the scenes. The technologies like hybrids and electrification of cars, which has now become the buzzword. As we all know that even in India, there's a lot of clamor and talk about electric vehicles. The government at one point of time had said that by 2030, all cars in India would be electric. And it has quickly done a U-turn because it has realized that without charging infrastructure, you cannot really realize that dream. But having said that, companies know electrification and hybridization of the industry is the future. Now, this is an area where Suzuki Motor Corporation, for all its technological prowess, for all its know-how, is actually a little weak here. And Toyota, on the other hand, is a very strong player. Mind you, the Toyota Prius is the largest selling hybrid car in the world, and it has been so for the last 20 odd years. So you have sharing of technologies which is behind this whole collaboration that we are seeing. The initial talks happened sometime late last year, and a formal MOU was signed in February. What we came to know yesterday is that initially there will be cross badging of products, and specifically Maruti will be supplying the Brezza compact SUV and the Baleno premium hatchback to Toyota, and it would be sold as a Toyota car. Possibly the names will change, but these will be on offer for Indian customers through the Toyota dealerships. And at the same time, Toyota will provide their best-selling sedan in the world, the Corolla, to Suzuki, and vice versa. The name will probably change, but it will be sold through Maruti dealerships across the country. Prima facie, if you look at it, then probably you will feel that Toyota stands to gain more in this, because the Brezza and the Baleno together, they sell almost 200,000 units every year. Just these numbers will probably should tell you that this is more than what Toyota sells across 4-5 products that they sell in India. So 50,000 units of those is what we hear Maruti will be providing to Toyota per year of these two products. And at the same time, Toyota will be providing just 10,000 units of the Corolla to Maruti. And mind you, the Corolla segment is a much smaller segment where the legacy and the brand equity actually matters a lot. So it sells barely about 4,000 units every year for Toyota for the Corolla. With Maruti, we don't know how much it will do, but we know that Toyota will be supplying 10,000 units of the Corolla to Maruti. But given the fact that Suzuki is weak in hybridization and electric vehicles, so all that technology will be provided to Maruti, apparently without making any substantial investments, which is very capital intensive. And these technologies can then be used in Maruti's other cars, including their entry-level cars like the Alto, the Wagoner, the Swift, the Desire, and you name it all. All these cars can probably in some future day will be powered by hybrid and electric vehicle technologies provided by Toyota. So that's a big upside for Maruti. To my mind, it seems that actually it's Maruti which stands to gain more than Toyota in this whole deal.
In terms of sales, if you're talking about the future concept and how it might work in future, but in terms of sales, does cross badging help? Like in previous years, we see Renault Duster selling as Nissan Terrano with minor changes, but these products haven't really gained that much a market compared to the original product. So do you think in terms of sales, will this help Toyota gain more numbers?
Danny, it is a very pertinent question. We have seen cross badging happen in India in the past, and like you yourself mentioned, between Renault and Nissan, which are global partners. So we initially saw the Nissan Micra being cross badged and sold as the Renault Pulse. Then we saw the Nissan Sunny being cross badged and sold as the Renault Scala. And later on we saw the Renault Duster being cross badged and sold as the Nissan Terrano. In all these instances, none of these products actually gained much traction, and at least in the case of the Duster and Terrano, they actually ended up eating each other up a little bit without even bothering the real challenger in the segment, which was the Hyundai Creta. So yes, so far cross badging actually does not help, does not do very well in India. But having said that, this is a completely new kind of a tie-up. These are two very different companies. Renault and Scala, more or less, they play in the same game altogether. but Toyota and Suzuki have a very different positioning in the Indian market. Suzuki does not have a car which is more than 10 lakh rupees in price. The most expensive car they have right now is the S-Cross or the Maruti Ciaz. So they needed a car which is an executive sedan segment, which is the Honda Civic, Toyota Corolla segment. They had the Kizashi some time back, which did not do very well, and they have discontinued it. So they needed a car like that which can go into Nexa dealerships. So they are getting the car for free. Toyota does not have a car in India which is a premium hatch or a compact SUV. So they are getting both these products for themselves, again without making any investments in that. So these are two very different categories where probably they will work on their own brand equity to make these cars sell. And I would imagine there will be some changes in the overall structure of the car to make it look a little bit different from what is already in the market. So we'll have to wait and watch whether it works, but I'm sure the both companies would have studied about cross-badging in the past and why they did not do well, and they will probably do a better job in this now.
So should we expect Toyota Baleno or Toyota Brezza or a Suzuki Corolla, or are they going to change the names as well?
No, the names obviously will change because these are globally trademarked names, and in India you cannot sell the same name nomenclature of a car from different companies. So obviously the names will change, like the Duster became the Terrano and the Micra became the Pulse. Similarly the names will change, but at heart the cars will just be the same.
So Sumant, globally there has been an upsurge of companies coming together. For instance, Mercedes and BMW, Renault and Nissan, and now Ford and Mahindra even in India. Like, why is this sudden surge of companies coming together, and how is it affecting the global auto industry? Like, how is it helping them?
So Danny, we are at the threshold of very dynamic next few decades in the auto industry, because we will, over a period of time, we will see that the ICE engine, which is the internal combustion engine, will become outdated. It will be replaced by a simple battery pack and an electric motor. Now this is the kind of change that no company is prepared for in that sense. Also at the same time, you will see a lot of new companies come into the foray. You will have an LG come in, you will have a Samsung come in, you will have a Google, you will have an Apple. So these are all unknowns for companies like a BMW, a Mercedes, a Volkswagen, a Suzuki, a Toyota or a Honda. These are all unknown companies. They don't know what they are bringing in, and they are in a way a little apprehensive of what is the kind of change that will happen and where will they stand in that change dynamic. So how do you react to that? And the best way to react is to join hands and join forces. When such a big disruption is on you, then it is much better that you join your own resources and try and do your research on that end. And that is exactly what is happening. We would have never expected a Mercedes and a BMW especially to tie hands at anything for that matter. But that is exactly what is happening, where for connected mobility, they are joining hands. Similarly, Toyota and Suzuki, they are arch rivals in Japan. So we would have never expected, be it for whatever market, that they will ever join hands. But they have, because Toyota has realized that emerging markets is where it needs to invest more, and that is where it is again a little weak. Only 40% of its sales come from emerging markets. India itself is the 4th largest car market in the world today. It has just overtaken Germany. It is expected to become the 2nd largest after China in just about 10 years. And Toyota is really weak here. They have less than 5% market share, even though they have been around for 15 years. So it's not an easy market to crack. In this market, you have a Maruti which has a very dominant 50% market share, and it doesn't look like Maruti is going to go away in a hurry. So you need some presence here, and that is why they are doing the collaboration with Toyota. Similarly for Renault Nissan as well, they have also joined hands, and Mahindra and Ford have also joined hands, because they all realize that if they don't join hands and stop just basically squibbling between each other, then the disruption that is upon them will probably wipe everybody out. So it's basically a necessity for all these manufacturers to now come together and face the crisis that is upon them.
So these are exciting times for the Indian auto industry, with so many permutations and combinations happening. As a consumer, I'm really excited about 2019, and I am eagerly waiting for what Toyota and Maruti have in store. And you guys, please let us know what do you think about this, and please leave your questions in the comment section. Thank you.